All right, we're going to be working on lesson 2.7 today, which is where we're just going to be solving proportions, okay? All right, so we're going to start by defining the word proportion. So it says it's an equation that states that two ratios are equal. And I'm just going to put the equal sign here, are equal. Okay, so that's what a proportion is. So now some of you guys were probably taught, I know some of you have been saying like the butterfly method, things like that. We don't usually say butterfly method at the high school level. A lot of times we'll just call it cross multiply. Now don't get that confused with cross canceling fractions, okay? So cross, if I'm looking here, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to take the x times the 40 and drop it in and call it 40x equals, and I'm going to take the 10 times the 25 and get 250. All right, and then once you do that, now you're just solving the equation, okay? So again, you might call this the butterfly method. I call it cross multiplication, okay? And then at this point, just solve for x. So we're going to divide both sides by 40. So you end up with x equals, the zeros will cancel out, and you can leave it as 25 fourths. If you want to find out how many fours go in, you could call it 6 1/4. Okay, but again, you can just leave it improper. All right, so let's go to B here. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to take 8 times x plus 4. So you've got 8 and then x plus 4 equals, and then you're going to cross multiply here. 5 times 3 is 15. So you're going to go ahead and distribute the 8 to both parts. So you have 8x plus 32. Now I am fine if you don't write this step and you go straight to here. So if you go ahead and take the 8 times the 4 and put 8 times the x and put 8x, and then 8 times the 4 and put 32, I'm okay with that. So if you skip this line right here, that is fine. Okay, equals 15. All right, and again, it's just at this point, we're just solving equations. So I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. So 8x equals negative 17, and then divide by 8. So x equals negative 17 over 8 is your final answer here. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so now we've got variables on both sides. It doesn't change what we're going to do. We're still going to go ahead and just cross multiply, and we're going to take 10 times 2n minus 4, and then in this direction we're going to take the 5 equal 5 times the 3n plus 3. So now you're going to have to go ahead and distribute here. 20n minus 40. Make sure you take that 10 to both parts. Same thing on the right hand side. Take the 5 to both parts, and you're going to get 15n plus 15. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move my 15 over first. So I'm going to subtract the 15n over to this side. Again, doesn't really matter what you do here first. So I've got 5n minus 40 equals 15. Now I'm going to add 40 to both sides. So 5n equals 55, and then I'm going to divide by 5. So n equals 11. Okay? All right, let's go down to our next problem here. Okay, word problem. So we're going to still use our kind of our 4 steps here. We're going to find a variable, write a proportion, solve, and then write your solution in a complete sentence. Okay, a portable media player has 2 gigabytes of storage and can hold about 500 songs. A similar but larger media player has 80 gigabytes of storage. How many songs can the larger media player hold? All right, so we're going to start by defining our variable. So if I'm looking for defining our variable, we're going to be looking here. So how many songs, right, can the larger media player hold? But basically we're looking for number of songs. I'm going to zoom in here. So I'm going to put like x equals number of songs. And if you want to put like larger player or anything like that, that's fine too. More details better. Okay, so number of songs. All right, so now when we're writing a proportion, we know that's going to be a fraction equaling a fraction. Okay, what's going to be really important here is that whatever you put on the top part here, you also want to put on the top part on the other side. Okay, and so what I'm talking about here, if we kind of zoom back up, first off, find a relationship. So when I say find a relationship, I'm talking about here, 2 gigabytes of storage can hold about 500 songs. Okay, so there's a relationship there. 2 gigabytes, 500 songs. So down here, you're going to put 2, and I'm going to go put GB just for gigabyte off to the side. You don't have to label everything, but I'm just doing it to try to teach you how to do the problem. So 2 gigabytes, and that's going to hold, how many songs was that? 500. Going to be equal to, or sorry, is matched up to 500 songs. Okay, so this right here would be my fraction. Okay, so now we're going to go undo that, and we're going to go back up here. So now find the second relationship. Okay, and all we know about the second guy here is that it's got 80 gigabytes of storage. Okay, the question is how many songs? So we're going to put the 80 gigabytes in down here on my fraction, but you have to keep it lined up. So if you have 2 gigabytes on top on one side, the 80 gigabytes is going to go on top on the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to put X because I'm looking for songs. Okay, so again, you don't actually have to do these labels. I just wanted to show you that you put gigabytes, you want to keep all of that lined up on top, and then songs, you keep it all lined up on bottom. Now, it's okay if you flip. If you choose to put songs up on top and then the gigabytes down on bottom, it's the same thing. It will not matter, okay? So now at this point, you're going to go ahead and cross multiply. And so I'm going to take 500 songs times the 80 gigabytes and get 4,000. And then I'm going to take the 2 gigabytes times the X amount of songs and get 2X. We're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2 and find out that I can store 2,000 songs. Or sorry, yeah, 2,000 songs for the 80 gigabytes. All right, so now you do need to go ahead and write a sentence. Okay. So an example, the 80 gigabyte player will hold 2,000 songs. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and flip over to the next page here real quick and let's try one more of these. Okay, so an 8-ounce can of orange juice contains 97 milligrams of vitamin C. How many milligrams of vitamin C are there in, that's supposed to be in, there's a typo there, in a 12-ounce can of orange juice? All right, so again, what are we looking for? We're looking for how many milligrams. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here. And I'm going to, whoops. And I'm going to put M equals number of milligrams. Okay, again, find a relationship. So if I kind of come up here, it says, I'm going to highlight for you, 8-ounce, 97 milligrams. Okay, so that's one relationship. So now go ahead, go down here to the bottom, and let's write our proportions. So we know 8 ounces, 97 milligrams. Okay, again, over here, you want to keep your ounces on top, milligrams on the bottom. Okay, and since M is the number of milligrams, we know we're putting M here. And go back up here and find the other guy right here, 12 ounces. Whoops, didn't highlight there. 12 ounces, and it's talking about how many. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put 12. Okay, in for my ounces. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and let's cross multiply. M times 8 is 8M equals 12 times 97. And 12 times 97 is 1164. All right, and then we're going to divide both sides by 8. Okay, and so when we do that, M equals 145.5. All right, so now write your sentence. So coming back up here, we're looking at a 12-ounce can. How many milligrams? So a sentence would be a 12-ounce can has 145.5 milligrams of vitamin C. Okay. All right, that concludes our notes for lesson 2-7.